Hey there, paper geeks and glitter nerds, it's Zenith the Crazy Geek Crafter. It's time for another part of the haunted house, and this time I am finishing up the chimney. I'm gluing on the roof. I am going to texture the foundation, glue on the entrance hall and the staircase. That's a lot of steps. I just need to make some windows for the basement area. I also need to install the back door. That one we haven't covered, but it's going to be in this episode. First I have to attach the entrance here to the stairs. Since I'm not going to have the door open, I'm just going to replace the vellum with some, well, it's not really cardstock, this paper from the cereal box, that's the word. Sorry, I'm a bit tired, but I wanted to get this out for you, because I think a few people have been waiting for it. This series have attracted a lot of new followers to my channel, so I don't want to disappoint anyone. This is going to be a long project, but I promise I keep working on it on the side of all these Christmas projects that I also want to get done this year. But I'm blocking off the doorway. I'm going to put some details on it later. For now, I need to get the house to some kind of finishing step. I'm going to glue on my chimney. I'm going to take it off again because it's actually going to be easier to work with it loose. But it was nice to have it on to see how much space I had for the second door, and I also need to cut out a piece of the roof to accommodate the chimney. I have just glued on the door, but I did want it to look like it was set into the wall, so I am going to make a few frames for it by using the die as a guide. That will cut the inner part of the opening, and then I can hand cut the outside. I'm going to stack a few pieces of cardstock for it to make it stand out from the wall. keep the roof at the right angle, I'm going to glue 2 of these pieces inside. These are from the house, and I'm just going to take my nail file and file the glossy side of the paper to make sure that everything sticks. And I'm going to use a squared ruler to try and keep everything in line. Since I don't have any flaps on this little house part, I'm going to make some by gluing on a piece of paper so that I can attach the roof to this part. It's a bit fiddly, but it works. One problem I always had with this is this gap underneath the roof for this entrance hall, and it's even more noticeable if you put the walls on straight. I've put them on slanted for my entrance, just to give it some more room inside. But that is a bit annoying. Because of the way I've constructed the house, I also need to put on an extra piece here, otherwise I can't attach it flush to the house with a good surface to glue. And this equals that out. Now I just have to find out how to attach it to the stairs, and that would include more paper. Now we are getting to the messy part, so I'm going to clean up and put on this mat that I use for acrylic painting, so I don't care if it gets dirty or anything. I'm going to mix up in this jar glue and water in no specific measurement. I just put whatever glue was left in this bottle in, and then put in a bottle of water that I had. I'm going to add glue to it because it actually became a bit too wet maybe for what I was going to do. On the side in the white top you can see maybe I have some napkins. I have separated all the layers of the napkins and cut them down to smaller sizes for them to be easier to work with. I'm going to basically paper mache this house and the stairs to give them texture. Here is the water. I'm just going to get out whatever I can of this glue. And then I should be ready to go. Now, in hindsight, the stairs and the chimney maybe shouldn't have been made of this cardstock. It's, well, not only, but it's 240 grams paper, and apparently it didn't hold up very well with this glue and water mixture. But afterwards it was quite sturdy. It just, when it dried, it at least the stairs became a bit wonky. But I don't mind, I'll straighten it out when I get it on the base, I hope. So I have sped up this process along the way and cut out a few pieces, but there's a whole lot of paper macheing with these stairs to get them to look right, since I had some not so pretty spaces from my construction, and I'm just going to cover those in napkins. crumbled up napkins for giving them some texture, so that they looked worn and natural, more than just paper. And then I'm going to do the same to the chimney. And I'm going to roll up little balls. I'm going to do that off screen, don't you worry. Roll up a bunch of small balls of paper, and I'm going to glue them on, and then I'm going to paper mache over them, and that will make it look like stone texture. And it's going to work so well that I'm also going to do it for the base. I did dry emboss the cardstock I used for the base, but it didn't turn out. It's visible, but I don't think when I'm done painting and everything that it will show up. So I opted for this instead. But it is going to be a bit of a process, and it's going to take the rest of this video to get it done. So I hope you will enjoy the montage. Ah yes, I also forgot all the gaps I have in my structures, like in here, inside the roof, where you can actually see up under the roof. I'm going to fill that with the napkins as well. The same for the tower roofs, and when I glue the roof on the main house, there will also be a lot of gaps, and I'll try to fill them in as well. It will also keep the roof on the house, so it won't fall off. And hopefully this will be somewhat light tight, for I am hoping to put lights in this house so that it can look nice and spooky. I did learn doing this technique that if you wet the paper, the napkin paper, it does roll up tighter and you don't get as loose a fit, if that makes sense. They have a tendency to unravel when they're dry. So to get a smaller pattern, I would wet all the papers before I try to glue them on. And this was quite a work, but I am very happy with the result so far. during this process of making the chimney, I did manage to make the top of the chimney the bigger piece, the fatter piece if you prefer. So I'm going to have to add some weight to the bottom, otherwise this will look ludicrous. But that'll be easier to do once I put the chimney back on the house. Then I can build it out at the bottom. But I think this happened because the balls I have, the little napkin balls I have here on the top, they dried and then they expanded from what they were when I put them on, because they had time to lay here and dry and unfold. You can see here, this is the bottom, and it doesn't look right because it's so skinny. So I'm just going to add aggressively to it, and then I'm going to fill in even more when I glue it back on the house. This video is getting very long, so we have to hold here at the chimney. I know the picture shows you that I put on gutters for the house, but don't worry, I filmed it and you will have it as soon as I can have it ready. So until next time, I hope you'll be having a good day, evening or night.